Thank you for attending the Tombill Mines presentation. We really appreciate your time. My name is Adam Horn, and I am the CEO of Tombill Mines. And joining me is Tim Chomey, who's a senior advisor, geologist of Tombill Mines, and indeed was very important as head of exploration in finding the hard rock resource, which is our neighboring property. Before I go through my various slides, I'd like to point out the company disclaimer. If you could take the time to read through it and look at the cautionary notes and disclosures that we are making, would appreciate them. The investment highlights. The first thing I'd like to say is this story is a very simple story because, one, we own all our patents and they are royalty free, and two, we are only focusing on one area, which is a 2,700 acre footprint. The main points I'd like to make out on this slide is our neighbor is hard rock, and we are on plunge from the 11.5 million ounces of gold that have been resourced since 2010 to date. And in addition, they mined between the 30s and 60s, 2.1 million. For us to quantify our resource, we have a three-part exploration program, and that's deep drilling, which we embarked on starting in January. We have already drilled 5,000 meters. We are also just started our surface geology work. And the third thing we're going to do, which will happen in July, is near surface drilling, where we'll drill approximately 8 to 10 more holes around 300 meters. We have a very experienced team on the finance and exploration side. However, I'd like to point out that there are 3 people who were very much involved on a senior basis with hard rock. 2 of them on the geology side. They both were the chief. They both head of exploration on hard rock, or at that time premier, and another senior executive who was very much in charge of capital allocation and budgets. In terms of our financial position, currently we have just around $7 million, so we're fully funded for the exploration plan, which Tim Chomey will take you through soon. Also, I'd like to point out insiders and family own over 54% of the stock and are very motivated on the long-term prospects of Tombill as a consequence. Just this slide outlines where we are. We are really a donut hole within the Geraldton Gold Camp. You can see us on the upper right chart in blue. That's Tombill Mine Group. Greenstone represents all our neighbor, which is a 360 degree of Greenstones. Their main project is the Hard Rock project, which is a world-class gold project, which to date has shown a resource of 11.5 million. That is split between the open pit, which I point out here. That's about proven and probable 5.5 million, and that's between 2.3 to 4.3 kilometers from our shared border. And between our shared border and the open pit, which is 2.3 kilometers, they have resourced approximately 6 million ounces of gold, and that's on plunge going from east to west to Tombill. That resource is represented by approximately 17 different gold zones and targets. So our job really is to continue and the hard rock plan, and hopefully we will have a comparable resource to our gold-rich neighbor. And to achieve that, we have a 3-part program, which I've already mentioned earlier. It's a deep drilling, which we started in January, followed by the surface exploration, which is happening as we speak. And the third prong to our exploration strategy is near surface drilling around 300 meters. This next slide, is similar to the prior slide. I just want to point out the footprint and the quantum of our project. Tombill owns, as I mentioned, 3,000 plus acres, royalty free, and mostly patents. That's spread over 3 groups. We even have a little smaller amounts of property in Beardmore, but our main focus and pure play focus now is the Tombill main group, which comprises 54 patented royalty free claims, plus here nine mineral rights only. Our neighbor, Hard Rock, which have said they're targeting construction of their mine this year, and that will add a lot to the infrastructure. Then, with regards to location, we are in probably one of the most developed locations for an exploration project, in that we have Geraldton that has a population of 4,000 that is very pro mining. The highway, Trans-Canada Highway, splits our property right in the middle. Geraldton is a major government center. They have their own airport. They have the Trans-Canada pipeline. And just to sort of exaggerate things, we even have a golf course that's adjacent to the Tombill main group. So, infrastructure and jurisdiction is second to none. With that, I'm going to hand you over to Tim Chwomey, who's going to go through the resource itself and the exploration plan that in more detail that I've discussed earlier.
All right, Adam. This slide shows a longitudinal section of the F zone, and that's looking to the north on this slide. And just to let you know, I created this slide back in 2010 when I was VP of Exploration for Premier Gold. And so we were drilling off the extension of this F zone. And this slide just shows how straight it is. So this field of view here is about 3.5 kilometers. And the F zone's straight as an arrow, and it goes right towards MM170, which Premier drilled back in 2010. And that hit 18 grams of gold over 20 meters, right beside the Tombill boundary. And that is pretty exciting because that is wide open. And that's what we're following up right now with our deep drilling program. Okay, next slide, please. And this slide is actually a similar view, just zoomed back a bit, and it shows all the resource ounces that our neighbor at the Hard Rock project has showed. And just to let you know, this there's more than just the F zone that strikes onto the Tombill ground. There's a number of zones here, and we expect to hit more than just one, obviously. And you can see the red dots on the lower left-hand part of the screen. That's our deep drilling program, and that's what we're starting right now. And those will be the intersection points of our drilling. All right, next slide, please. And this slide is a Google image, and it just shows our main group boundary with the exploration that we intend to do. And really what's remarkable about the Tombill, there's been no exploration done on this since 1970, and there's actually been no drilling ever on these deep targets. And the last drilling actually on that main group was in 1950. So it's really remarkable that there's been no modern exploration done on this. And you can just read those for the potential targets that we're following up right now. All right, next slide, please. And so this is our near surface campaign that we're going to be doing as well. Our phase 1 drill program is predominantly deep drilling. So we have 2 drills right now drilling the extensions of those targets that our neighbor on the Hard Rock project delineated way back in 2010, 2011. And we intend to drill about 15 holes on that deep phase 1 drilling program. And we have 2 drills there right now, as I said. We call those drills our truth machines. So we expect some good results happening there. Next slide, please. And so this is a rendering of the most recent geology map of the Tombill. This geology map came from 1950. So again, it just exemplifies that there's been no real modern exploration done on the Tombill. I find that really extraordinary, actually, that there's such potential here that's never been followed up since then. And so the second phase of our exploration at Tombill will be this near surface exploration, because as you know, the old timers really did not focus at all on low grade, wide gold deposits. So that's exemplified by our neighbor at the Hard Rock, which was right in the middle of these historic mines that mined underground about 2 million ounces since 1930 to about 1970. And right in the heart of that, those mines, our neighbor has outlined actually 5 million ounces of proven reserves in an open pit. So we feel there's a open pit potential as well at Tombill that's never been followed up. So this is our second phase exploration program we're going to be doing this summer. So we really do have high hopes for this. And I just get excited because this kind of program has really high potential. And I just love being part of an exploration program that has a really good chance of creating new wealth in the ground. And we have high hopes for that this year, in fact.
Thank you, Tim. As you can see, we have a great team at the management level and at the board level. When you look at the management, we have people who spend a lot of time on the finance side and on the accountancy side to make sure, you know, we run our operation well and that we are well financed. And then, as I mentioned, we have Ben Clayland and Tim Twomey on the geological side, who are both in charge of the exploration of the neighboring Hard Rock. On the advisory board side, we have Quentin Henney, who is chairman and president of Nova Resources, plus many other companies like Novu and like Tombill, and he has a doctorate degree in geology, and he really knows the space. In addition, we have Gordon Reed, who was the ex-chief operating officer of Centerra and was also in charge of their largest mining asset. So very strong operational capabilities. And then we have Ian Stalker, who is the founder and director of K92, and he's been wonderful in giving us guidance. So, you know, a highly capable team all over. And we make sure we frequently meet and have many meetings to get the best out of our resources. In terms of capital structure, we have about 150 million shares outstanding, warrants of about 39 million, and we have options currently outstanding of 9.3 million. So 202 million shares outstanding. Cash at the end of March 31 was approximately 7 million. Our shareholder base, as you can see, the family owns 51%. Crescat has 6%. Other insiders represent about 9.6%. High net worth, around 11%. Institutional, around 22%. So when you add the insiders in the family, it's approximately 60%. Here are the institutional holders of the company. And there are major groups based in Canada and Australia. So in summary, I'd just like to refamiliarize yourself with the Tombill story. We are a donut hole, and there is a closeology play around the Hard Rock project. Our neighbor has targeted, they will start constructing the mine in Q3. The area has great mineralization. We have 11.5 million ounces are currently resourced. There are 17 separate zones, including the F zone, and approximately 4 million ounces between the 1930s and 60s were mined in the Geraldton Gold Camp area, of which 2.1 million were mined on our neighbor, and Tombill itself had 2 past producing gold mines. So our objective is to continue the hard rock exploration plan, diversify our resource base with multiple zones, and prove out the F zone, which is the most important zone on the hard rock. Their best hole, for example, was 18.5 over 20.5 meters, and that's on our border. So we hope to twin up with that. We have a top team, and we find it vital that we have 3 senior geological leadership executives from the hard rock team. We also like to point out we have no royalties, we own the patents. So I hope this gives you a good, quick overview of Tombill, and that the story appeals as an investment candidate. Thank you.